All right, here we go. Um, I took a break from doing some of these series because I didn't really know what I would want to talk about further, and I didn't want the common owner mistakes to be like hundreds of things that kind of all bleed into each other. But here's a good one. Since there were only 9, here's the 10th one, and I think this will be the last one for a while, unless I have an inspiration like I just had. So I guess with this last one, I think it's really important to address these owners and people who will be potential owners who think they're going to be some kind of like super dog owner who does everything for their dog perfectly, and they're going to get all the right answers and all the perfect food and all the everything perfect right all the time. I think these owners, they get caught up in the dog's emotional state, which we talked about before. We don't want to get wrapped up in the dog's emotional state. We got a puppy here, by the way, who's learning, hey, knock it off. So when you allow yourself to get wrapped up in the dog's emotional state, you really set yourself up to overcomplicate the process. For the most part, dogs don't really have like an emotional state. They don't really possess the necessary tools mentally in order to process some of these more complex emotions that we as humans come up with, whether it's like your dog loving you or, your dog, pondering where you went if you left for the day. And a lot of that stuff, it really comes down to this. If you're working a full-time job or you don't have all your time dedicated to your dog, you may overcompensate in different areas, whether it's toys, programs, walkers, dog walkers, which is a thing I went over recently with a client. Like dog walkers could screw up your dog more than anything. So what I suggest and what I think works is set yourself up for success so you can set your dog up for success. Ask yourself, how much time can I give to my dog every day? And I have this conversation with clients all the time. And often the answer is that they can dedicate a 45-minute walk in the morning and a 45-minute walk in the evening. Now, I would steer clients away from simply walking their dog in the morning and the night and ask them, okay, if you could take 45 minutes in the morning and 45 minutes in the evening, then we could ostensibly combine that and you'd have an hour and a half each day. An hour and a half that you can spend with your dog. And then I asked them, is it possible for you to take that hour and a half and chop it up into 10-minute sections? Right? That's what? An hour and a half in 10-minute sections is 9 sessions throughout the day. That's a lot of work for your dog. So you can even chop it up smaller. You could do 15-minute sessions and do less of them. You could do, you could do 6 lessons a day. You could do 5-minute lessons, and then you're with your dog all day, all night. So here's the point I'm trying to make. If you ask yourself, how much time can I dedicate to my dog and my dog's growth every single day? And you come out to 30-minute walks morning and night or 45-minute walks morning and night, take that time, stretch it out over a total amount of time, and chop it up into 10 to 15-minute sessions to do with your dog. This will allow you to do multiple things, right? One, your dog's definitely going to get enough exercise, and you're not going to have to commit large blocks of time to your day. Remember, dogs aren't going to be worn out by a long walk. I mean, they might for a little, but overall, the stimulating parts of the walk are not really going to be working towards good habits, building good habits with your dog. That's why I say until your dog's fully trained, maybe remember the walks are a treat, not a necessary thing. Use that time to train. The other thing is, if you set aside time for your dog to do that kind of training, and you set aside an hour and a half a day, when you've done that amount of time, you're not going to have to struggle with, oh, has my dog gotten enough stimulation? Does my dog need more exercise? Am I failing my dog in any kind of way that might lead to a change in your leadership that could cause behavioral issues, right? Letting the dog out of the kennel because they're barking. Like, were they fed? Did they get water? Did they get to go to the bathroom? Have they had some work today? Those things can all lead you to a place where instead of getting wrapped up in the emotional state of the dog, oh, he's upset in the crate, so he's barking. How about, oh, my dog has been fed, my dog has had water, my dog has had work, my dog has everything they need, and they're barking in the kennel. Well, that makes for a really easy solution. You can know for a fact that it's your job as the leader to tell the dog that that's an unacceptable behavior. Do so appropriately with the right amount of pressure, or the non-pressure, depending if you have a puppy, obviously. Like, is the puppy teething? Does he have a teething object? Something to take him out of that pain of teething? Do you need to use pressure on a 12-week-old puppy? Probably not. But you'll know when you can send those messages of like, hey, this is unacceptable, because you're not wrapped up in the emotional state of the dog. And let's bring it full circle. That's what we're talking about, right? If you set up goals for yourself as an owner, then you can know that you're providing the things that the dog needs in full or even in excess. And then you won't get wrapped up in the emotional state of the animal, right? You won't start projecting your human emotions onto the animal, thinking you're doing a bad job with the animal. Hope that makes sense. And that's really the goal here. Set aside time so that you can work with your dog. When you're not working with your dog or puppy, if your dog's kennel trained, have them in the kennel so you can operate in a place that's healthy. If you have a service dog, definitely kennel them so that they never are not working. We want the dog working when they're out of the kennel. If you're not going to have a house dog and you're going to have a service dog really doing serious work, kennel them. Kennel them when you're not working with them, and make sure that you set aside the right amount of time to work with them. 6 15-minute sessions is a lot of work for a dog throughout the day, okay? But remember, a 30 to 45-minute walk in the morning and the nighttime, that's bare minimum of what you should be doing for your dog. But if you really want to get the most out of that time, break it up into shorter sessions throughout the day and use it for dedicated lessons for specific behaviors, or getting rid of specific behaviors that your dog is experiencing. And again, to hammer it home one last time, if you set aside this time and you're giving the dog that time, you're going to have a much easier time asking yourself the other questions. Is the dog fed? Does the dog have water? Is the dog in a comfortable place? Has the dog gotten all of its needs met for the day, so that I can meet my needs, which is to have a dog comfortable at rest on their place marker, or in their bed, or in their kennel. And remember, that will help to stop from projecting. In my experience, I find it helps to stop me from projecting my own emotional state onto the dog. Oh, the dog is angry with me because of X, Y, and Z. Oh, the dog doesn't love when I leave. Or the dog is scared, right? The dog is scared. Don't put it in the kennel. It's scared of the fireworks, so let's pet the dog and console it. Like, no, that's not how it goes. So set aside the time, have a plan in place, know how much time you want to dedicate to working with your dog. And then when it comes time to ask yourself, have I provided those things that my dog needs? Especially in the eyes of like projecting an emotional state on the animal, you'll be able to make a more level-headed answer, or arrive at a more level-headed answer, and make better decisions with your dog. And that's the most important thing here, is make sure you're giving your dog the things they need. And if you're doing that, make sure that you check your own emotional, your own emotional state when you're dealing with, oh, is my dog upset? What's wrong with my dog? Most of the time, they're just going through something they need to go through, and they need you to lead them through it. So best way to be a good leader is to be prepared, and the best way to be prepared to answer those questions about your dog's needs is to set up and organize your day as such. Hope that makes sense.